What's good? What's cracking? What's popping? What's up? I have my notes here because I'm nervous and I need notes for this. I've been procrastinating with this video, but I decided to redo it and articulate myself a little bit better than what I was in the first video. What's inspiring me to actually go ahead and put this out there, it's May 8th, 2019, and today Common, he released his book called Let Love Have the Last Word, and in it he was in his book he recalls of the moment when a family friend took advantage of him. Coincidentally, I am on chapter 6 of Yesterday I Cried. Forgive me because I don't know how to pronounce her first name. Ayana. In chapter 6, she doesn't go into gross detail about her rape incident. However, she allows her conscience to conjure up the mental trauma that she endured and that she is still allowing herself to acknowledge and heal from. What I've come to realize being an adult is that a lot of people don't understand that it's very easy for humans to heal from physical pain. But what's usually is worse is you're left with the mental scarring. And a lot of the time, you know, if you come off like a happy person, people don't think that you have issues. Or if you don't speak about it, people assume that you don't have issues, that you have gone through or that you're probably still dealing with. For a while now, Spirit has been calling me to do this video because this is a part of my healing process and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. To those who know me, they know certain aspects of my childhood, but not the whole envelope, because I choose to keep it that way. But now it's just like, well, fuck it, that's what we're gonna do, bitch. So I definitely had an abusive father, and he is still abusive to this day, but he's abusive to other people. And personally, you can say that I have gone past the verbal and physical abuse, such as, you know, being called out my name, threats, physical fights. I do have a scar on my back shoulder shoulder, because of a certain incident. But I can comprehend the evil behavior, because if an abuser does not take the necessary steps to heal their inner child, then they will target their anger towards their victim, and usually it's the person who is closest to them. Oh God, okay. So in that, like I said, I'm past the physical, the verbal, but I'm left with the mental and the spiritual pain. What I will not comprehend and what I choose to not accept and understand is the perversion. Especially if you teach your child the importance of self-defense and saying no. In chapter 6 of Yesterday I Cried, Uncle Leroy, his perversion came out while he was drunk, and he acted on it towards 8-year-old Rhonda. You can already tell that he's not a dignified man, because, you know, he's having an affair. He's coming home sloppy drunk, damn near like every night. His wife calling up the mistress like, yo, send my husband back home. Like, you already know he a fuck nigga, right? So you can't really expect too much from him. You can't really expect too much from people who don't even value themselves. So Uncle Leroy, he forced himself upon Rhonda, and he raped her. And Rhonda knew that what he was doing was not right, so she told on him. She told her auntie, which is Uncle Leroy's wife, and auntie did not take up for her. She did not stick up for her. She did not, she was silent. She did not console her. And sadly, these gruesome acts do not get met with justice. This is almost a regular, normal thing to have to deal with. You know, children look to their parents to save them. And usually, from what I've experienced and from what I've heard from others who deal with this, is that the parent has not healed from their own traumatic childhood to be able to help their child through their situation. Or sometimes some situations, and this is mostly with women, if she does not feel like she is worthy enough, then she is not going to do anything to cause the man to leave her, even if that means sticking up for her own flesh and blood born child, her offspring. This is definitely a generational curse. Oh my God. This is definitely a generational curse that will not cease if these foul people are not held accountable. The worst thing that you can do is to enable this type of sick behavior with silence and by turning a cheek. So for me, even to this day, I do not want to label, I do not want to want to use the N word to describe my situation, because I don't want to accept it as that. But I guess you could say that my father molested me. I don't know. I really don't know. And even if I was to speak to a therapist, and the therapist was to say yes and confirm this for me, I still would not want to accept it as that. So, but nonetheless, I know that my father has a sick, twisted mind, and he is a perverted man. He has a very perverted soul. And sadly, women had to be at his expense. So, just to get to it, when he started, and I have to use his terminology, when he started to play with me, okay, it was only at chest level. Because he would be a hypocrite to, fondle me in other areas, because he did teach me that nobody's supposed to touch your private parts. That is your private part. Nobody's supposed to touch you. Not mama, not daddy. Nobody, right? And he knew that if he ever took it that far, that I would tell. He knew that. So anyway, growing up, we had a regularized relationship. I was the daddy's girl. We roughed house. We play fought. We were ace cool bull. We were always having fun with each other. I did not grow up a dainty girl who, didn't know how to handle herself or, stand her ground, That's the funny part, is that he definitely, I always say that my father was my boot camp. So when everything started, somehow he incorporated this way of play and labeled it as tickling, because he would play with me in the form of tickling as he tickled my other tickle spots. Everybody has their tickle spots, on their body. At first, at a young age, I didn't care because it didn't seem freakish. Then, over time, as I started to get older, it became like a petty punishment. So as I started to, develop into my curves, I realized that I was feeling something when he would play with me. And I knew that that was not okay. So I tried talking to him. I tried telling him that I didn't like that, but he would still manipulate the situation, and he would change his tone of voice and, convince me that this was our own little special way of playing, that no other father and daughter play like this. I believe that, if I was allowed to have this conversation with anybody at that age, that I would have been able to stand up for myself and be stern. and not allowed him to do it any further. So I do feel like it was my fault, because I do feel like it made him feel like I wanted that, and like I was okay with it. And I know it's not my fault, but it still feels like it is. So you know, after some conversations, he would start to, you know, leave me alone, and, you know, he would give me my space, and he wouldn't do that. But as I came into my teenage years, he started to notice, you know, my curves were starting to fill out, and he was starting to make comments, and, you know, just like any regular father, how I thought is that, you know, fathers are supposed to not regulate, but to guide and shed advice on their daughter's choice of clothes, but if you are a protective parent, you don't turn around and make your child feel like you are attracted to what you see. You don't grab their ass. You don't do anything or say anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. You know, he would say like, oh, you're my little girl, you're my little girl, you're my little girl. But he wasn't respecting my boundaries of my body. And so I decided to take it upon myself to change what I wore. And instead of, you know, being comfortable wearing panties and shirts around the house, I started to wear oversized shirts and pants. I wasn't taught this. This was just my own solution of covering up. I started to wrap myself in my blanket, you know, when I was sitting in space, sitting in my room even, just so I could have that barrier, that protective shield, almost like a disguise. Multiple times I would try to speak up for myself, and honestly, I don't believe that he even wanted to fathom that he was over-sexualizing his daughter. I don't think he wanted to believe that. I don't think he wanted to see himself in that light. So I think, you know, the narcissist that he was, he had created an image of himself that he maintained from his teenage years to his 30, 40 years. And anything that would taint his image, he did not want to believe. Whew. My leg, nigga, my leg. Oh, okay. But, oh, this is my notes. So, since he didn't want to accept that I was growing up and that he couldn't touch and he couldn't touch me in certain ways, I just decided to start staying to myself. Not only because, you know, we were having physical and verbal fights, but I didn't want to subject myself to being in the same area as him walking past him and him grabbing my ass or flicking my breast. I didn't want to, you know, if he called me to his room, I didn't want to be in his room for too long to where, you know, now he's telling me to sit on his bed and sleep between his legs, and now he's, you know, just playing with me. I didn't want to deal with that. It wasn't normal. It's not fucking normal. And I'm not, to anybody who knows me and doesn't know to the extent, I'm not speaking about this to get pity or to hear, oh my God, or oh my God bless you. No, I don't. I'm really speaking about this just so I can get it off my heart and just be that much closer to being done. So, I didn't even like hugging him, because there would be times where I would hug him and he would flick me, knowing that I didn't like that. But he would have this look in his eyes, this defiant look like, yeah, bitch, I'm gonna still do what the fuck I want to do, even if you don't like it. But that's what people do who need power. They're going to disrespect you, just to say the least. And even speaking about this, it is humiliating. It is. It's embarrassing, because no child wants to speak about the person that they loved like this. I would get so uncomfortable that I wouldn't want to, you know, and you're a kid just growing up, but, you know, you start to notice anatomy, and as a teenager, I don't want to come lay in between your legs and feel your crotch against my neck or my back. That's uncomfortable. So I had to start putting a pillow there, but I shouldn't have to tell you to put a pillow there. You should already be doing this. So me and my father, we were definitely at odds. And it was like a war zone in the house. I legitimately, he was my enemy. And that is the only person in my life, being 22, almost 23 years old, that's the only person in my life who I will ever consider to be my enemy. So, I don't consider him to be my family. And even then, I didn't consider him to be my family. Because family is supposed to respect you, love you, protect you, take care of you, not neglect you, not abandon you, not disown you repeatedly. But, you know, I understand that God is making him suffer through his karma. Not only his karma with me, but his karma with my mother, his karma with my siblings, his karma with any other woman that he has dealt with in life. But I have to talk about this because when you're a woman and you start dating, you know, people say not to bring your past into your future. But that's hard to do. I used to have a very bad habit of giving my time away to men who were not worthy. Yeah, I'm sitting on my yoga mat. I do not want this damn spider to come up to me. So, no, I'm not killing it. Alright, chill out. I became a Captain Save-A-Ho. Straight up. You know what I mean? I talk about this with my best friend and my brother. Like, straight up, I used to be a Captain Save-A-Ho. Like, I'ma love you into being your best man. I will love you, and I will love the idea of you, and I will love your potential. Because I thought that, you know, everybody has to be forgiven. Everybody has to be given a chance. I want to, oh my God, there's a rabbit. It's so rabbit. Oh my God, it's so cute. Oh my God, it's so freaking cute. Oh, but I'm just a type person, like, I root for the underdog. I've always been the type person who roots for the underdog. I've been this way since elementary school, when people would pick on, like, the one kid who always acted out. Nobody wants to understand the kid who acts out. It's not hard. And if you just open up and let them feel safe enough to express themselves, then you will get a whole nother side to them. I just want to help I want to help heal people. And, you know, I had this one African man come up and tell me, like, just out of nowhere, he comes up and he tells me, like, you cannot be in a relationship with somebody who turns into being your patient. Okay? You cannot date somebody who is your patient. And that stuck with me. God placed that man into my life for 20 minutes of my life to tell me that. Because, you know, the little situationship that I was going through. So, I prided myself as a woman who doesn't hang around the wrong crowd. However, you know, have I dealt with certain people, maybe like 2 or 3, who I had no right being around? Hell yeah, I did. And the reason for that is because it's not that women love the thrill of danger. It's that when you go through adversities in life, you want to be like, fuck that shit. I'm strong. I can hang around whoever I want to hang around. Woo woo. You want to prove something to yourself. To yourself. To yourself. You want to prove something to yourself. But in the end, when you're trying to prove something to yourself, you end up getting hurt no matter what. So, I've always told my mom that I don't want to be a bitter bitch who claims that all men are dogs and they ain't shit and da-da-da-da-da, and she's just angry. But I also don't want to be that naive, hopeless romantic who just allows a man to walk all over her for the sake of being able to say, well, at least I have a man. Okay? No. Oh my God. You know, growing up, sadly, we have this impression that predators, whether it's a man or woman, only prey on little kids. They only prey on minors who are not 18 years old. But that's not true. Because I've dated men who might be like a year or two older than me, and I've dated as old as 32, you know. But even within that age range, I have learned that they did not get the home training that they needed to be respectful. Oh my God, ew. To be respectful men who don't look at sex like it is a trophy, like it is something that you have to, you know, like work really hard for, you know, like my point is that parents need to teach their grown sons and their young boys that girls and women don't owe them attention, sex. You know, if as a man, as a boy, if you feel like you have to convince a woman to have sex with you, do not have sex with her. Okay? I don't even know why you want to have sex with a woman if you have to convince her, talk her into having sex with you. Because that is a form of manipulation. You should never have to manipulate anybody. Hardcore manipulate, softly manipulate anybody to have sex with you. Man or woman. It is okay. It is very much okay to ask the woman that you're getting to know, ask the woman that you're dating, ask the woman that, you know, you're in a marriage, but hopefully you've already done this if you are married. But it's okay to ask women if you can touch them here, if you can lick them here, if you can kiss them, hold them, da-da-da. It's okay. It is completely okay. It's not going to ruin the mood if you ask for our permission. If anything, you're gonna get the coochie even faster, because that means, oh my God, he's not just trying to take it from me. You feel what I'm saying? So, and please, you know, if you're that guy who just leans in for a kiss because, like, you feel a certain vibe or whatever, please don't. Don't even do that, okay? But honestly, women, men, anybody, human beings, okay? We just want to feel like somebody is taking our wants and desires. Somebody is taking our wants and desires. Oh my God. We just want to feel like somebody's taking our wants and our desires into account and they're listening to our voice, okay? That's it. So, you know, and not even just men have to be accountable, but women have to be accountable as well, okay? And I have had to make myself be accountable. The issue with human beings is that we believe that, you know, if I give you this handbook that gives you instructions on how to treat me, then, you know, everything should be okay. But if somebody doesn't even respect and value themselves, know already that they're not gonna treat you any different from how they treat themselves. I'm just saying. People will definitely, and this is something that I learned through my last situationship. People will treat you however you allow them to treat you. And I even tell this to my little cousin. And as they get old, I'm going to keep on telling them. And they've seen Astiana cry, hoop and holler and scream on the phone. And guess what? I am old enough to understand. People will only treat you how you allow them to treat you. They don't care about your words and don't do this, don't do that, Because if you're constantly giving somebody a chance and you're never sticking to your word and making them be accountable, if they know that all they have to do is just be like, oh, I'm sorry 500,000 times, they're gonna keep on disrespecting you 500,000 more times. I know, Astiana, know that I deserve to be admired, treasured, caressed lovingly. I deserve truth, honesty, and I deserve it to be given to me on a plate of love. Because there is a way to be honest with somebody without having a confrontational voice. And usually a lot of the time, somebody who comes from these type of backgrounds, they shy away from confrontation. They shy away from conflict. Either because they know that they're temperamental and, you know, they'll hurt you just as bad as you hurt them, or because they know that shit hurts their fucking feelings. God damn it. So, especially all of last year, I learned that it is completely okay to X the fuck out of people out of your life. It is okay if somebody feels like you switched up on them because you're not hitting them up as much, you're not replying to their text message, or, you know, you're not acting the same when you know, y'all are in the same room or anything like that. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay for somebody to think that you switched up on them. It is okay for somebody to say that you tripping just because you have different standards and you hold yourself to a different level. It's okay. So keep on tripping, keep switching up, as long as it is for the betterment of your soul. Raise your standards and keep your circle small. It is very important to surround yourself with people who are on the same frequency as you. Jeez. It's very important. You can't allow just any and everybody to fill your aura, to be in your presence, it is very important who you surround yourself around, because, you know, you don't want to allow anybody to trigger you while you're healing. And you just don't want to keep being around people who think that they can just get over on you and take advantage of you. And sadly, we live in a world where people don't fucking care. As long as I feel good, I don't care about how you feel. So yeah, last year I learned how to take back my power, how to take back my control. I learned that I don't want to keep having sex that is not satisfying me, that is not making me feel fulfilled, that is not making me feel loved and treasured. I learned that I don't want a man, and I have a friend, oh my God, I have a friend who does not make me feel like I have to rush into having sex. I have a friend who sees my spirit over everything else. And he just sees my curves as a bonus, okay? And I need a man in my life who hears me the loudest when I am at my most quietest. I need a soul tribe that uplifts me, encourages me. You know, it's very important that you don't surround yourself with people who have victim mentalities, because that shit can kind of wear off a little bit. Depending on how strong-minded you are, that shit can wear off just a little bit. But I had to release this. I had to release this because this is something that still hurts me. It's very fucked up to admit that when I'm being intimate with myself and I'm touching myself, or maybe I'm being intimate with a man, and I have, you know, my father's face pop up at the most inopportune moment. That shit is fucked up. There are certain triggers that you can't shake, but Astiana, like she said in her book, it is not hard hold on, let me quote it properly, okay? She said on page 102, chapter 6, you can feel bad and recover without it being hard. And that's what I'm trying to do, is recover without it being hard. Even, you know, I was watching on Netflix, All About Nina, and the main character, spoiler, okay, she divulges the fact that her father took her virginity. You have to watch the episode to understand why I phrased it in that way, because that's what that episode was about. That episode was trippy. But I just want anybody who's watching this to imagine how many men and women who you may or may not know who have this story, that they learned their bodies through a vile act. My message, my final message, is that don't ignore the signs. Don't allow the person closest to you to suffer in silence, because there is a hurt child in everybody. If you know somebody who is being influenced, if you know somebody who is being taken away from their family and they're not being allowed to interact with their family, reach out to them. Don't allow time to just pass. Reach out to them, find them, Google them, purchase that people search to get their phone number, to get their email in case you forgot it. But don't allow that person to be by themselves if you know that the person that they're with is not any good. I just want for everybody to heal together. Nobody has to do this alone. And yeah, have a good day, and I hope that this video makes people have conversation. I hope that this resonates with somebody. Peace.